Hey, this is Jason with B&B Composites. Hey, we finally did it. We finally broke our panel. And trust me, that guy down there, if he's watching this, the guy with the red, white, and blue camouflage, that second gen Dodge, he thinks I'm crazy, I can tell you. So I was doing my normal thing, set it on the edge like this, and I just went BAM on it. And guess what? It finally broke. After weeks of beating on this thing, it finally broke. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you close up here of the damage, what's going on. We'll take you through what you need to fix it, and also do the fix right here on the video. Okay? So why don't you come on up here and we'll have a look at the video, or damage. Okay, so as you can see here, all these little white spots, those are actually little voids in the resins caused from when we twisted this thing like a washcloth when we're wringing it out. These big yellower spots, those are air bubbles that where the layers delaminated, they came apart. And then of course we have our brake right there in the middle. And all this can be taken care of so simple and easy. These down here, you don't even really have to worry about because that's fairly normal for now. But if you wanted to, you could do the same process to take them out also. Alright, so let me show you what we need to get going here and we'll get on it. Here we go, into our favorite auto parts store. We are going to go grab the stuff to fix that. What's up, Preston? Come down here to the auto body row, where we will pick up a pack of the Bondo fiberglass cloth and a small can of fiberglass resin. And then we're going to head back up to the counter here and check out. Okay. We'll see you back at the house. As you saw by the section when we went down to our favorite hardware store, not hardware store, auto parts store, we picked up our cloth. And as you can see, I've been using the cloth. But this is what we're going to use. This is the same cloth we picked up at the parts store. We're going to cut out 2 pieces of it to fit this area. Okay? Along with that, you're going to have your resin. Now, you're not going to need very much resin. I use these applesauce cups. They hold just perfect amount for small repairs like this. At max, they'll hold 3 ounces of resin. You can also use the tray that comes on the resin can, and it has your hardener in the top. We'll get to that in a minute. The reason you can use these is because you can reuse them over and over again. Because when you're done, you're going to just drop your brush right down in it. Any leftover resin, you drop your brush in it, let it harden up. Then give it a little bit of a pull, and it all comes right out, and your cup is almost completely clean. These are cool to play with too. To apply the resin, you're going to need a chipping brush, and you're going to need a stir stick to tighten it or mix it up. Okay, so let me get everything ready, and we'll show you how to do this. Alright, so I got my stuff laid out. I've got my resin ready, my hardener ready, my cloth, but I'm going to keep this stuff off to the side for right now because we need to rough that up. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do it the cheating way because we can do this a lot. I'm going to use my angle grinder. But you can use a 36 grit, 80 grit, but we just need to take off the top layer of this stuff that's bubbled and cracked. We just take off the top layer, then we can lay on a new layer of cloth. So can't forget our safety gear, glasses, and respirator. So we'll get these on and we'll get started. So we're just going to grind away some of the stuff here. It's going to be loud for a minute, so I'm not going to say anything. Here we go. And that is all we have to do. We just need to rough that up a bit on the inside so the new resin, or the resin will stick. And unlike welding, when you blow through, it's not a big deal. I can't weld worth a dang. That's why, one of the reasons I love doing this stuff. So I can fix it, anything you want to do with it, without welding. Alright, so one of the things we didn't talk about was tape. Tape is your friend, especially when you blow through. Because what the tape is going to do is going to keep the resin from falling through onto your table. And you probably don't want to be doing this on your wife's kitchen table anyway, so you really shouldn't be leaking on it if you're going to do it. So we're going to just take a little bit of tape. We're going to cover up that hole. So, going like that. That extra, if you don't need it. Then, I think we're going to leave this open for now so I can get some resin down in there. I'm going to brush it on and then close it up and put the cloth on the inside. But first we need to mix up our resin. I put 1 ounce of the resin in here. That means you have to add 10 drops of hardener. Okay, 10 drops of hardener. 10 drops per ounce. You'll read that right on the box. The instructions are right there. Now we just mix this up. You can already see where the drops are sitting, where it was starting to react. This stuff works pretty good, quick. You want to make sure you get a good thorough mixing so the stuff down in the corners gets mixed up. Nothing like pulling the resin out of one of those cups and finding that the corners weren't mixed very good. Because you don't have your gloves on, and now you have resin all over your hands. And that is something you don't want. Which reminds me, the one thing I always forget to do, put on my gloves. So, makes you feel like a doctor when you're doing this. Anyway, so mix a little bit more. So, there, and we'll start brushing. Just take a little bit on the brush, we'll open this up, dab right in there, and then just put a small layer all over everything here. Whole area you're going to work on. Doesn't matter if you go over the side a little bit of where you're working because it'll harden up. Put this on. I should turn this around so you guys can see a little better. You want to make sure this is good and closed up when you do this. I'm going to put some weight down there, put my fingers there, hold that closed. And it doesn't matter if you're up over the top a little bit. Just stick that in there. And then we'll brush on some more resin. When this is thoroughly wetted out, it will be pretty much transparent. That's what you're looking for in this. Looks like it didn't quite grind that air bubble enough. But it's not going to be that big a deal because we're actually putting a whole other layer on top of here. You don't have to be perfect because you're going to grind this up afterwards. You're going to be able to cut off any extra up here after the fact, but just wet it out and make it easier to cut. I must hate having to mix up 1 ounce and not use it all, but unfortunately my scale is like that. So there's your inside. That's all the repair you need to do in here. In fact, I may just go ahead and add a little bit more back there. It looks like we didn't quite get all the cut covered. Okay. Just cut another section, and we'll lay that right on there. Add the resin underneath and on top. This is a laminating resin, so any new stuff you put on just becomes part of the original. Not a problem. It's really awesome the way this stuff works. There. Now we did cover up the whole crack. You can see we've got the crack, comes clear back to here, and we got it completely covered. So now any new load will be transferred from here, clear across to here, and from here, clear down to there. So if we hit it again, it'll stand up like it did for the first 3 weeks. So we'll let this harden up, and we will get back to it. So we've let it set up long enough. The resin has hardened up. You can see we've got a patch here that goes clear down through, gets all that, and a patch here. And all you're really trying to do is get across this crack you want the load to be carried across. So it doesn't have to be this long. I did it this long because of those extra bubbles, but it could have just been like this, and that's what we're going to do in the front. You can see I already ground out the areas for the front, and we're just going to apply little patches here and there. I'm not going to use that. We're going to use these two right here. This one here, and then that'll be all patched up. You can see we ground clear down. I don't know if you can get a good look at this. You can see we ground down to the cloth that was originally in there. So we're going to tie it right into the original cloth. It'll carry the original load all the way through. It'll be great. All right, so I'm going to let you go for now while I lay this up, and we'll get back to you when we're done. Guys, so here it is, all hardened, ready to go, and it is stronger than ever. It is not going to bend, not going to break. Good to go. Ready, all you have to do now is sand it. Because we ground this down, it's going to be nice and smooth across there. Just these little hairs on the outside. Any extra stuff that can be ground off, we'll ground off, or sand off. Sand the edge. And you don't even have to really worry about the inside. Who's going to see the inside? You're going to have your wheel well and everything else in here. So, anyway, little sanding, little filling, and you're done with your body repair. Alright, so we got it all sanded up. Thought I'd just give you a quick look at the final product. You see, we got the full patch clear around the whole crack that was in there. That little hole that I ground through was completely covered also. And this is smooth and ready for little primer and paint. And we're good to go. Nobody will ever know it was there. So, happy motoring, guys.